Alright, at long last. I've been trying for 3 weeks now to get this going, but welcome to the launch of the 3D Sapiens Road Show. Real quick, we'll get into the who, what, why, that kind of thing. We'll start with who, but before we do that, the who that's most important to me are my sons, so I want to dedicate this launch of a new career to my sons, Leo, Dennis, Ben, Mitch. Um, I'm just trying to save you guys a lot of pain and suffering. Learn the lessons that I learned the hard way. Anyway, and I'm going to share it with the world. While I'm doing this, I also want to thank some people, in particular the last few years. Dallas, Terry, Kelly, Bob, and of course Esperanza, not a real name. Without you guys, this wouldn't be possible. Um, Before that, most of you probably know me from, contrary to this, my name is Daniel Davis. If I had any friends, they'd call me Dan, but nobody loves me. Anyway, no, actually, so I go by Dan, but Daniel D. Davis. So I'm gonna actually take this stupid thing off because it keeps getting in the way. Um, if I don't stab myself in the process. Okay. Whew. All right. Go away. All right. So most of you know me from this, or a lot of you know me from this, or you heard me on Coast to Coast AM, August 2013. On the featured guest, interviewed by George Norrie for 3 hours. So you might have heard me from me about there. So here's the face that goes with the voice on the radio. For those of you in about the last 5 years here around Central California, you might have heard me playing at the Unity Church in Fresno, or Madera Spiritual Awareness Center, or Maya Restaurant in Madera, or a few other places around here. There's a whole lot of stuff that I've got books that I'm writing about right now, about 14, 15 different books, and 3 or 4 of those have different, memoir kind of stuff. So I'm trying to keep it really, really brief. So, real quick, let me just do it this way. Hopefully we can see this all right. So, I was born in Southern California, Orange County, back when there was, like orange groves between the cities. When I was 7, we moved to Ecuador. Lived there for 8 years. Así que un saludo a mis amigos ecuatorianos. Por fin nos vemos. Yo soy el chillito quiteño, la vida la paso encantado. Anyway, came back when I was 15. Finished high school, Golden West High School, Visalia, California. Went in the Army. When I came back, went to COS for about 3 years. College of Sequoias in Visalia, California. And then I was at Fresno State about 3 years. Finished my BA in mathematics. I also have an AS in math and science from COS. Finished my BA in mathematics and my teaching credential for math, and tested out on the Spanish because I knew it from growing up in South America, of course. So when I finished college, couple weeks later, was married to my first wife, American lady named Linda. You'll hear me talk about her probably. Hopefully mostly good stuff. But within 2 months, we moved to Congo. So it was called Zaire at the time. Now it's called the Democratic Republic of Congo. We were there for 2 years, went to a bunch of different countries, like skydiving, and, well, I'll show you pictures in a minute. Anyway, so from there we went to Romania. We're there for 3 years. From there to Pakistan, about 3.5 years, and that was end of marriage number 1. I went back to Romania for about 6 months, and then back to the States. So I've been here since 2001, and trying desperately anything to get me overseas again. But it's all good, and like I said, I've got books. I'll be talking about this, how it all worked out just perfectly. Aside from this book, I've also had an essay in the book A World of Teaching, Personal Journeys Through the World's English-Speaking Classrooms. I don't have the book on me here at the moment, but Anyway, there was an essay in that book. I've had about 5 articles for the Sierra Star, which is the local newspaper down the valley here, towards the valley. We're still up in foothills. I'll get to that in a minute. So my writer portfolio right now is getting pretty good. I got, I don't know, 2 or 3 dozen different things. But as I mentioned, I've got about 14, 15 different books that I'm working on aside from this one. The next 2 are pretty much done. They will be getting published one way or the other in the next few months. I'll talk about those later. What occurred to me is over about the last year and a half, I'm kind of developing a nomadic lifestyle. And because I don't like being in cities, I don't like being indoors, I like being outdoors. This is my kind of place. And I've realized that I can do everything I need to do. Sorry, guitar. My music, writing, publishing if I need to. I can do all of this on the road. And I thought, hey, I can put it on YouTube as well. So, if you want to buy my books, great. If you want to come to my presentations, because this is the overall goal of this. The 3D Ramets, relaxation and mood improvement techniques. Basically how to get through anything, pretty much anything. There's a whole story behind that, the whole book, hopefully I won't have to write. But there are ways of getting pretty much through anything. And so I want to be doing these presentations, and I want to go around the country doing them, and eventually around the world. Eventually I want to have my own airplane, a small boat, and that's it. I don't want to be huge and rich and whatever, but I do want to be able to take this nomadic lifestyle around the country and eventually around the world. And in the process I realized that, if you want, like I said, if you want to pay money to see me or buy my books or whatever, great. But if not, at least here on YouTube and eventually on my website or whatever, I do this for free because it's information. I'm an educator, okay? I've been a teaching, credentialed teacher for 25 years now, and I need a bigger classroom. And so while I'm writing in this about all this stuff and doing presentations, I can be doing this on YouTube. So today and always for you, my friend, special price $0. But wait, if you call it, forget it. You don't have to call. It's always free. It's going to be free here on YouTube. Hopefully I can find some sponsors and whatever, but that's a different story. We'll get to that in a bit. All right. So real quick to get these stupid things that I've been carting around with me out of the way. Right now they're being used for providing lighting. For those of you who will be recording like this is something to take into consideration, is the lighting. I want to show you these picture frames real quick. Later on, these pictures will be on websites and in books and whatever, but I wanted to give you a little sampling, and this is the quickest way I could think of doing all this. Like I said, I got a lot of stuff. Aside from things like this, when I was at COS, College of Sequoias. So yeah, by the way, in case you're wondering, I'll be 54 next month. So anyway, and I'm almost back to this weight pretty much now too. Thanks in big part because of this lifestyle. And I'll be talking about this in the health portion and all that stuff, which I'll explain a little later because I want to do these pictures. Oh, and if you were at COS about this time and took a couple different art classes, you saw like all of me because it's cheap money, posing nude. Anyway, so let me do the pictures real quick here. So starting with the Army, I mentioned I was in the Army a couple years. The glare is going to be kind of bad. I got to mess with it a little bit. There we go. Okay, sorry about that. But anyway, so I was in the Army for a couple of years. I was a driver on self-propelled howitzer, M109, 26-ton howitzer. Did a lot of stuff, medals and won competitions and so on and so forth. I'll talk about that in books and whatnot, so I won't bother you with all that right now. But this is the kind of stuff I'll be talking about. About the time that I got out of the Army, I got seriously into skydiving. I tried to sign up for airborne, but they're like, well, you need to re-up for a year. And I'm like, I don't think so. So, because I was short. I was like 10 months or something, and I'm like, see ya. And then I found out a colleague of mine was skydiving. So about a month or so before I got out of the Army, I took up skydiving. And that's opened a lot of doors for me. Um, Again, COS over here. Fresno State. The only time I went to Fresno State football stadium with people, like with the crowd, was when I skydived into it. This was the Clovis. Hold on, I gotta set this thing down somewhere. There we go. Okay, like over here, the Clovis Rodeo Parade thing. We skydived into that. Anyway, so there's a bunch of these pictures too. And so this kind of segued to basically all over the world. I need something. Hold on a second. Including base jumps like this from Bixby Bridge. Okay, so this is kind of geographic, starting with Northwest Canada, Mexico, growing up in Ecuador, over to the other side of the ocean, England and so on, or paragliding in France, in Greece and so on, down to Africa, skydiving in Namibia, doing things around the Congo, and then over to Romania. Câte amintire, nu băieți? Și, well, whatever. Da, am zburat. I mean, we did a lot of flights, a lot of skydives and paragliding and all kinds of cool stuff here. In Greece, paragliding, Pakistan, paragliding, Thailand, bungee jumping, and so on and so forth. Romania in particular, I learned the language, but I had a blast there. I did a whole one here with Romania because the 3 years I was there, the first time especially, did a lot of things. Got us in the newspaper, launching with paragliders, bailing out, opening up skydiving canopies in free fall. Landing in Piața Sfatului in Brașov, right in the middle, 1200, you go right over the Black Church. Skydiving out of hang gliders, winning a national paragliding competition. That led me to be able to skydive with Colonel Bashtan and his group, whatever. Anyway, so there's a lot of stuff in Romania. That's enough for now. As I said, I've got hundreds, no, thousands. I've got thousands of pictures and hours of video and all that kind of stuff that I'll be putting on here. Before I continue, though, let me double check here. Make sure we are still recording. And we're still recording. Okay. By the way, pardon the setup, but with this nomadic lifestyle thing, we're going to be starting with the basics and working our way up eventually, hopefully, with help of sponsors and donors and whatnot. Bigger vehicles, RV, and so on and so forth. But right now we're starting really, really basic. I won't get into it too much at this moment, but starting with a car and a tent or two. Really basic stuff, and then again working our way up to recreational vehicles and so on and so forth. Because I want to be able to take all my toys. I want a kayak and all that kind of stuff with me. Before I get into that, though, or into what all we're going to be doing on the show here, I want to cut this into this launch episode thing into like 2 or 3 different segments, because otherwise they get too long and I want to double check, make sure everything's working. So I'm going to finish this segment here, which would be part A. So party! See, we're already having a party! Anyway, or if you're from Canada, first part, eh? Whatever. I like to have fun with letters, because otherwise you have to get like phonetic, you know, like Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo, Foxtrot, Golf, Hotel, India, Juliet, Kilo, Lima, Mike, November, Oscar, Papa, Quebec, Romeo, Sierra, Tango, Uniform, Victor, Whiskey, X-Ray, Yankee, Zulu. But anyway, I don't want to do that. So, anyway, stay. I wanted to finish up this segment, kind of cutting to the why, the I'm yours kind of thing. I'm doing this information for free, and so the song I'm Yours, I picked to do this one, the first one, Jason Mraz. there's also several lines in here that I really, really like that kind of get into my sense of spirituality, which I will put on a separate channel so that those of you who are not into that this lifetime and want to whatever, you don't have to pay attention. But for those of you who do, I'll be describing all that stuff, including some songs, some like this, some that you may have heard where I took the words and I tweaked them so that they kind of go with the sense of spirituality. It's cold, sorry. My nose is getting a little runny, but all right. Anyway, so nothing's going to stop me but divine intervention. I love that one. Open up your mind. I'm a very open-minded person. Let the music of the moment, listen to the music of the moment, people dance and sing. We're just one big family, which is about all the connected thing, which is another big part of it, like on Avatar, which I'll talk about that later too. It's our God-forsaken right to be loved. Blah, 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 blah. There ain't no better reason to rid yourself of vanities. If you're into ego, you're missing it. I believe what Wayne Dyer said, edging God out is what ego stands for. So, anyway. Before this party gets too long.
Done me in the bed, I felt it. I tried to be chill, but just so hot that I melted. I fell right through the cracks, and I'm trying to get back. Before the cooler running, I'll be giving it my bestest, and nothing's gonna stop me but divine intervention. I reckon it's again my turn to win some or learn some, but I won't hesitate. No, it cannot wait. I'm yours. Well, open up your mind and see like me. Open up your hands and damn, you're free. Look into your heart and you'll find love. Listen to the music of the moment, people dance and sing. We're just one big family, and it's our God-forsaken right to be loved, love. So I won't hesitate, no, it cannot wait. I'm sure there's no need to complicate. Our time is short. This is our fate. I'm yours. I've been spending way too long checking my tongue in the mirror and bending over backwards just to try to see it clearer, but my breath fogs up the glass, and so I do a new face and I laugh. I guess what I was saying is there ain't no better reason to rid yourself of vanities and just go with the seasons. What we aim to do. Our name is our virtue, but I won't hesitate no more. It cannot wait. I'm sure there's no need to complicate. Our time is short. This is our fate. I'm yours. Open up your mind, see like me. Open up your hands and damn, you're free. Look into your heart and you'll find that there's don't, please don't, please don't. There's no need to complicate. 'Cause our time is short, and I'm yours. Ah. They believe I'm yours. You best believe I'm yours, baby. I'm yours. Ah. All right, part A is finito. We are going to move on to part B here coming up shortly. Hang in there. Thanks for tuning in so far.